Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So for today's reading, I was cleaning yesterday and I put a whole bunch of stuff in piles. And as I was about to put those piles away, Spirit was like, hold up, don't put this away yet. And as I looked, I realized it was a bunch of random mishmash into 3 different piles, but it had made 3 perfect readings. So we've got 3 readings of randomness coming up, and this is one of them. So we're going to use so many different modalities. So let's hope it flows together nice and see what happens. So we've got the Bocelli tarot cards. And we're going to use these little sweary bag of affirmations. We've got charms on deck. And if we have time, I'd like to really burn this candle and do a wax reading. So, to kick it off, we've got crystals and this piece of paper that started it all. And it kind of really fit the theme of the videos that has been happening lately. So that's why I was like, all right, let's make this a collective message. So first off, what is this piece of paper? I don't quite remember how or why or what I was doing, but I wrote out so many different sayings or inspiration, maybe song lyrics, things like that. And it was supposed to be, I think they were like little gifts, and I was supposed to give it out to people. But somewhere along the lines, this one escaped, and I keep finding it at the most random time, but it's always the most perfect time. And I've moved so many times, and it makes it every move, and it finds me over and over and over again. So let's read it. It says, "We must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us." And we'll read that again. "We must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us." Let's just getting some more energy and spirit through. But yeah, as the first thing that wants to kind of share a little bit on this message is the crystals. So we've got three quartz. We've got milky quartz. We've got this heart-shaped one with different layers. And then we have this one that has like a whole world encapsulated in, plus a lot of Lemurian lines on it. But this one, it's kind of like a past, present, future reading. But so as this one said, we have to let go of the life that we have planned. And that's where this one wants to kind of step up. So milky quartz, usually quartz is very clear. And milky quartz has like opaqueness, like layers through it. And when you look at it, it turns like very bubbly. It looks like that opaqueness. It's almost like the energy wants to come up and like rise up and out. Because that's how I see quartz. I see quartz as information. And so these bubbles, it's almost like information or awareness coming to the surface. Rather than milk, as it said, milky quartz, I'm seeing it rather as like pop, how you shake up and the bubbles go to the surface. Whatever's within rises up and out. And so it says what we have had planned. Well, the things that we planned were things that, all the information that we had at that present moment. Everything that we had endured up to that moment gave us this pros and cons wish list. I'm hearing wait list as well. I don't know why a wait list would have to do with this, but I'm hearing someone say, man, I wish I had waited because, you know that saying, I wish I knew then what I know now, or else I wouldn't have made those decisions. And so that's why it says we have to let go of the life we have had planned. Because sometimes we make plans based on not enough information. And that's what this one is. It's kind of like, it's opaque. It's not quite, you can't see through the situation, but you have to make the best, right? You have to trust. And as I did that, I looked down at the sweary affirmations, and this one was speaking. It said, I trust in myself because I'm a total badass. And so you didn't really have clarity on the situation, but you trusted that no matter what situation you put yourself in, that you were going to have fun or thrive or learn from it or grow. Because you just have to really take that leap of faith or chance. But there is a point for us where, right, those are learning opportunities. And there's no mistakes that you can make. But in this moment, we must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that's waiting for us. Well, there's always this one that we're growing into. We can avoid our destiny, but I feel like it's hard to avoid your destiny. It takes so much more time and energy to ignore your calling or that inner, if you've got connection to your guides, like they're so loud, those signs and synchronicities are abundant. The more and more you try to shut that down, the more and more you're just going to be chaotic inside. But then, as this one said, there is this one, it's just so much easier to go with the flow and grow. You just keep growing and learning. There's different beliefs I'm hearing they're saying now. Because now as we get to this, it's all about being stuck or trapped in between phases and layers of ourselves. And so what do you want to share about that? There are times like up in here where it's really opaque still. And that shows more of the youth. When you're in the youth, right, think of a kid. They're not going to punish themselves for making the wrong choice. I hear someone speak for yourself. Like some kids are pretty hard on themselves, but not many. Most of the times, right, you're riding a bike, you fall down, you skin your knee. They're not going to be like, you can never ride a bike again, you're irresponsible. They're like, no, try again, get up and wish for the best. So there is a need to try, but as this one, we need to let go of the old. So I'm seeing someone make choices based on the past. They fell off, they skinned their knee, they got back on, they learned that they can ride a tricycle. And I've always been great at a tricycle never hurts me, I know how to ride a bike now. And then it's like, so they grow up and all they ever know is 3 wheels. And then they find out that everyone else has the bicycle. And so they finally learn to ride the bike. But it had taken them so long that by avoiding it, it's like, what do you mean you don't know about this whole balance thing? Right? The whole thing for you to learn to do the 2-wheeler was to learn this balance within yourself. And that's what they're kind of showing, is like being stuck in between layers or phases. So now they're bringing it to riding a bike. It's like riding a bike, they say. But now they're also showing just life and growing from a child to adolescence to adult to elderly, and then like how the cycle continues. Sometimes when we have a lot of things happen to us, I'm hearing loyalty or vows are the positive aspect of it. But then there's also the other side of it where something negative happened, something embarrassing, something traumatic, kind of keeps you mentally stuck at that age. So now they're saying some people act a lot more childish than they biologically are. Yeah. I'm just hearing someone be like, cowabunga, dude. And so that makes me think like 80s or Ninja Turtles or something like that. So Ninja Turtles, they're showing being stuck in their shell and being afraid to like kind of expose themselves to that hurt again, to get back up on that bike. But because they keep shelling, turtling away, they never actually learn the responsibility of that balance. And so by having that confidence in knowing that you have that balance, takes away a lot of your freedom. Because eventually what I'm seeing is like, that's more like childhood, right? In the childhood, they're like, nope, I'll just stay with my training wheels. And so they kind of stay at like a baby child phase rather than get to like adolescence. But by the time they're adults, right, they finally are like, all right, I'll learn this bike thing. Because you kind of have to. Balance in this situation is that having confidence in the balance between the mind and the heart. I was like mind and heart. and flowing that together. Because I'm seeing great leaps and bounds, they say. Great leaps and bounds. And when I did look at it, I don't know if you can see through that one, but I am seeing a cord or an attachment happen. So as the other one, you didn't really see things, you couldn't understand things, but now as there's like this great leap and bound growth spurt, you kind of look and you see that there is just one unhealthy attachment to another outside of yourself that stems back in the darker times, not so much darker, in the opaque times when you couldn't see through things, when things weren't crystal clear. And so now that things are crystal clear, that's where they said that vow or that promise. It's like, I wouldn't have made that vow or that promise of loyalty. Like, I'm not seeing this as like a marriage or something like that. If that's your circumstance, like, don't make a story fit. Whatever this is, it's just a unhealthy attachment. But I wouldn't have made it if I had known that. And so now I'm seeing this be a wake-up call. And this wake-up call is now happening in adulthood. And it says we need to let go of the life we had planned. So in adulthood, they wake up and they're like looking around like, man, I'm still kind of on training wheels. Everyone else of my friends has kind of progressed and moved on. Right? They had all learned how to ride bikes. They all got balanced emotionally and mentally, and now they're onto motorcycles. And so now I see this person being like, but I want to learn to ride a bike, like, because I want the motorcycle. I didn't realize that motorcycle was even an option. And that's what it said, to accept the one that's waiting for us. What do you mean about motorcycles? If I had known that in order to ride a motorcycle, I would have had to learn to find that balance on the bicycle first, I would have taken it a little bit more serious. I would have embraced the pain that came with it, because each time I fell, I knew eventually that down the road, when things aren't clear, that there's this aha bonus benefit. But it's hard to see that far because the future is unknown. And so they didn't know that this motorcycle was a potential. So now I see them with this unhealthy connection to something, very dependent on someone, and it's time to let that cord go. So then it moves into the future. As I picked it up, I heard it just fits and clicks. And that's this side. As soon as I see here, there's like the perfect groove. It's like my thumb just perfectly fits in it. It's like a puzzle piece. And now I'm hearing that song, Hallelujah. Dun, 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 dun. I don't quite remember the lyrics. What they're showing me of the song, I guess, okay, so what they said is, if anything lyrically means anything, it'll be a message for you to go and look up the lyrics. But for me, as they show me the song, it's even like they're, like Charlie Brown and how the teacher's like, wah, 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 wah. And it's like, I know the words, and that's why I find this very frustrating. But it's like, that's not for me to tell you which part is important for the words. But what they keep showing me, all I could hear is hallelujah. But, Shangela maybe. But, it's how the song is played. It's like, it starts off in the past one. This one is very dense and quiet. It's like, and then like, the more that it kind of like works through each layer, it starts to get clearer and clearer. And then from there, it goes to the ultimate clarity. So I almost see it like a china. You know how you can like play crystal and make it like vibrate? It's at the highest pitch frequency now at the top. So as if we were to go back to that, because now it's like singing the song on the highest, like in my head, it's like, it's a little annoying, to be honest. I do feel like there's a need to ground it. But as I said, so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. This one, you couldn't have known, right? The motorcycle type energy, you couldn't have known because it's such a high vibration frequency that it was not even in your consciousness. Like you didn't even know that you vibrated at that same match. And that's how manifestation works. It's like you think it, you feel it, you live it, you be it, and it comes to you. You create the outside of you based on how you feel on the inside. And so you couldn't have thought or felt that way because you had these other things that you really needed to work through. And I really feel like that one chord, it's just like you chose something in your life. And I almost, do I feel like it? Okay, first instance, I felt like it was an unhealthy bond to someone. But I don't feel like that's for everyone. I do feel like it's an unhealthy bond or attachment to something. So for someone, I'm seeing that it's money, this unhealthy relationship with money. And maybe, what about money? I heard we grew up dirt poor, and I'm making... Okay, so it pretty much was like, okay, so somebody grew up really, really poor, and so now they have all these people who kind of come into their lives, and they don't quite give them a chance. They see them, they label them as like a gold digger or something like that, and they're not even like really getting a chance to know them. They're like kicking these people out the door. All I ever want is me Lucky Charms type energy. And and it's like they're saying on one of them, you really gave up on like a gift from the universe. The universe was like, hey, this one is to help you work through so that you could see better, to raise your vibration through your unclear problems. This one is like the solution to add to your murkiness. But you banned it, you banished it, you labeled it and judged it or something like that. For another, I do see it's just healthy attachments, that maybe you surrounded yourself with friends or allies or partners or spouses that aren't at the best, they don't have the best intentions for you. At the time, it's usually based out of toxic traits, they say. You guys matched at one point, but truth and time tell all. And not everyone is wanting to grow and change and evolve and become a better version of themselves. Some people really like the being stuck or staying the same, and that's their prerogative. But the ones that I think become the problem are the ones who constantly need to be the victim, but yet they're the ones that cause all the drama and conflict. That's kind of, that's, if that's anything, that's the type of energy that I see, is like being stuck to someone. It's like they're just a drain, that they just drain time, money, and resources and energy. So let's pull a little bit of cards on these. And yeah, I got 3 cards. Okay, so this one says, do one thing every day that makes you feel fucking fabulous. And then this one says, I trust in myself because I'm a total badass. Hey, and I think that one came out earlier. Dang, what did I just do? I flipped it. I put my thing down, flipped it, and reversed it. Okay, and the last one that came out was not loving myself is total bullshit. So out of the Botticelli cards, we got 2. That's all we need. So doing one thing that makes yourself feel fabulous, because I trust in myself because I'm a total badass. And that's what you just needed to do based on this, is have trust and make a decision, even though you didn't have clarity. That you had to trust that no matter what problem came at you, that you were strong enough to deal with whatever it is. And it says, do one thing that makes you feel fabulous every day. So it didn't matter in the past what it was, right? As a teenager, right? You're supposed to just go out there and make stupid, silly mistakes. But you're supposed to learn from those mistakes. And so it says, by not loving myself is total bullshit. And so if I hear I don't know, it's just how you handle your mistakes. Every single person has made mistakes. So I'm seeing someone who, you look at your friends and outside people and they make mistakes all the time. For someone, I'm hearing you got a lot of fuck-ups in your life. Sorry, that's rude to say, but that's what they said. And you're like, oh no, they don't mess up. They're if you understood their story, blah, blah, blah. But then when you mess up, you're so hard on yourself. You're like, you idiot, you're this, you know better. And it's having that compassion for yourself. Because why are they allowed to make a mistake, but you're not allowed to make a mistake? That's almost like you put yourself as better than these people, but you're not better, right? Everyone's equal. We're all making these crazy, stupid mistakes, and once we make them, we're allowed to grow and evolve past those mistakes. So Botticelli cards, who wanted to come out? We have the Lovers, and then this one is Temperance in reverse. So Temperance is all about that. Okay, so the only reason why I laugh is because Temperance is all about, here she has the water and she's putting in the plate, and it's about that bouncing the energies back and forth, which was again all about that bike, wanting that bike to find that balance between mental and emotional, right? To find that flow state, and then from the flow is when you get the speed. But with the Lovers, because this was in reverse, so Temperance in reverse, and these Lovers just kind of coming in and rushing. So they tried to force the speed faster than it needed to be, and I think that's why I laughed, is because that's not what Temperance is, and my guides are saying that's not what love is. And so now I'm being drawn to just come look in this book, and it says know yourself. It's a flow book, a book of questions. So let's just randomly pick a page. So the one that it says to do both, but orange first, blue second. So for the first one, it said, what word gives you the jitters? And so there's something that keeps coming into your subconscious with the Lovers card. For someone, it was what word does make you jittery? And for someone, I heard that the word marriage, that there's someone who just is not a committing kind of person. They rush into all these things, right? Into this marriage into this relationship. And they promise these people all the time. It's almost like love bombing at the beginning. And then when the relationship starts to get real, it starts to get clarity and seeing where the layers are. And when you look into this, there's so many little points within here that this one is this one's being unclear. This one's all about finding that clarity, depth, and layers within your heart. And then this one is solidifying into a family unit. And so it says, what word gives you the jitters? For someone here, I'm getting a player energy that commitment and relationship and marriage gives them the jitters. And then for someone else who rushed in, I heard that the word divorce gives them jitters. And with understanding, right? You make a vow, you make a commitment of something, this promise. The only problem is if the promise was made in unclear energetic times. And so working through, does this relationship allow it that you still love yourself? At the end of the day, are you still happy with who you are? Did you wake up? Did you work hard? Did you earn? Something about earning, they want to say. Did you earn? Weird. I'm hearing, did you earn trust? Did you earn the trust today? And then they kind of now started showing me someone be a bull or a bully. Or did you did you force people to trust you today? Because that's not real trust. That's not real love. It's like, you better have my back or blah, 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 like threats, empty promises, things like that. Okay. But now the blue. It says, what makes your home feel like home to you? So I keep seeing like both spectrums. There's someone who's afraid to commit, and like what makes home feel to you. And it's funny because they don't feel like they're at home. They're like, I'm missing something. It's almost like that bread and butter type smell in the air, right? Like homemade food, and like someone who you could like confide in and trust at the end of the day and things like that. Because they keep having relationships that are very short-term lived, that nobody knows them on a deeper level. And it's that deeper level, that sadness, that sharing of that vulnerability is like what I feel is the home feeling for them. Now on the other end, there's that person who rushed in and got married and had an attachment. That sounds so funny. Has this bond to someone and they don't resonate anymore. And it's like what makes a home. And it's like they've got it's like they've played house. They've got all the things there that on the outside, on a picturesque something, that people will be like, that's a happy family. But it's not a home. A house, a home. You can have a house, but it doesn't make it a home. There's no love there, Spirit sharing. They're saying everything was kind of forced. In both these situations, things are being forced. And it says, we must let go of the life that we have planned so as to accept the one that's waiting for us. And so I want to pull new cards, because out of all this, it's like this person, okay, do one thing that makes you feel fabulous every day. In the past, that's kind of how that energy I see is like going out and be like, whatever. And then something happens and it's like, well, I trust in myself because I'm badass anyway. And so that badass makes me feel like, oh, I did something bad. And then from that, doing something bad, not loving yourself anymore, punishing yourself for whatever it is, wishing that you had waited or seeked clarity, that rushing and lust and love aren't the same thing. I'm hearing someone even say, but I did wait lots of time. I tried to push it off as long as I could, and then I thought that was it. And Spirit saying to that person, you were guided to act that way. You were. It said, I trust in myself because I'm total badass. Trust that every single situation that you go through, that you're strong enough to grow through. That your heart is strong. Okay. I forgot what I was shuffling for. There's energy. But there's energy coming through, so let me just see. Because I was like, oh, that's kind of negative stuff. I kind of wanted it to shift forward in the reading to a more positive as to the life that's waiting for us. I wanted to let go of the old, and I wanted to grow into the new direction of the mindset. So what comes from that? We have the Chariot. This is the movement card. this is taking things into, I heard, a victorious era, because it's a mindset. As this one, when you let go of what you know, when you tried to force something, when you were like, this is what society says that my plan is supposed to be. So you fit your puzzle pieces in, but guess what? They weren't the right puzzle pieces. And you jammed them in and you hammered them in, and they fit, but not well, and not confidently, right? You pick it up, it's going to fall apart. It's going to be just like a little bit loose or too tight. But here I see him standing on the platform very confident. And that's because with this new movement, there's that balance, right? That riding the bike, your mind and your heart are both on the same page. Well, hey, look, she's holding a book. Who are you? You are the high priestess. And so the high priestess, of course, she's on the same page because she can see through the dark. So whenever this opaque type things come, it's like it can't even cloud your judgment, because you could take your sight away, you could take everything outside of you, but how you think and feel are still very alive and active within you. That who cares as dark as the moments are outside of you, you'll still have clarity on where you're moving. And so that can't stop the chariot. The only thing that could stop you, we have Two of Swords. And even that, normally Two of Swords, she's blindfolded and she has a decision to make. The only thing that's going to stop you from moving confidently forward, from being on the same page mentally and emotionally, is when you start listening to people outside of yourselves. And what about this? I'm seeing, okay, as the high priestess can see through conflict. And then here we have a card of two people fighting. They're saying that you must get on the same page with yourself, that there is that one cord in here that's like and once you kind of cut that from someone, because that's the only thing that's clouding up this clarity. It would have been perfectly clear, but it does seem like something's pulling you back or draining you to old patterns and habits, hoping that you will go back to the opaqueness, to the darkness, and not be able to see clearly. The more and more that you keep focusing on the people that do that energy to you and giving them time and being like, I told you no, this, like, go away. Like, I told you I'm not fighting, but by fighting them, by saying you're not fighting, by wanting revenge, or just to let them know how bad they hurt you or something like that, that's the only energy that's gonna like stop it. That's like that wheel in the fork in the wheel or whatever. What instead Spirit kind of wants you to work on is this table. It's like setting up, here we have the Nine of Cups. It's like, who do you want at your dinner table? As that one said, oh man, I didn't save the page. When does home feel like home to you, or something like that? It's not going to come back. But yeah, it was like, what makes a home kind of thing. And when we asked that, I saw two extremely opposites. It's that person who's scared to have that home life, to have that further depth with someone in the vulnerability. And then there's someone who seeks that vulnerability but is stuck with someone who just emotionally isn't loving and have that connection, and needing to let that go. Someone needs to let someone in, and someone needs to let someone go. And at this table, it's like, who do you want at your table? It's only sitting at your table, and at this table there's a feast, and there's peace, and there's abundance, and there's prosperity, and all you have to do is just stay balanced within your heart, choose what's best for you, your freedom, your joy. It's coming back to not loving myself is bullshit, as this card said. And it said, do one thing that makes you feel fabulous. So you know what happiness is to you. And it seems like the life that you had planned out for yourself, one day you woke up and you're just like, dang, this ain't what I wanted. And so it says it's because there's something better for you to accept. So the last card here is the Six of Cups, Six of Chalices. And with that, I'm getting inner childhood healing. There's that critic inside you that was so mean to you before. Every time that you were so nice to other people, your body didn't really see it that way when you were so hard on yourself. Because to yourself, it almost seemed like you were so kind and compassionate to all these assholes outside of yourself, these douchebags, these people who probably should have got scolded, but you never did. But then when it came to yourself, it was like just this inner child made a mistake. And you scolded that inner child so much that this inner child needed a little bit more healing, a little bit more love, and just like acceptance for the mistakes that they made. And then with that inner child healing, it's that's where that kind of contentment and peace at the table. Because what I'm hearing is almost like there's a table, there's an energetic table. It's an energetic one. It could be real in some cases, but I'm mostly seeing it as like energetic. And it's like who gets to come to your table? Who gets to come to your energy and share your personality? Your personality is a gift that not everybody gets, right? To some people, you can be the most open and kind person, and to the other person, you could be very short, because it's all about that energetic exchange. And so I'm going to wrap up these cards and do a little bit of charm reading right now. I don't think we'll have time for the candle, because those uploads just kind of take too long. Oh, let's use this one. Hold up. Okay. So we just got a little thing of charms here. What did we get? Okay, so first thing that I did get drawn to was this little blue one, and it kind of looked like a buoy to me that like floats on the surface. And I keep hearing like it was just all surface stuff. Survival, I was just seeing like floating out to sea. Then the next one that I was drawn to was this pink bow, and it showed like you just sit there and you be pretty. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about things. Let the big boys, let the adults handle things, blah, 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 blah. But they keep showing that you didn't really get to go into the depth. Because the next one here, we have the white rabbit with the crown. It's like you didn't really get to go deeper. And it's almost like I'm seeing baking, like making bread. Baking, I love cooking, but I don't like baking, because baking is like a specific science. Like you need complete measurements. You can't be all willy-nilly with the spices and whatnot. And if not, you could have disasters. You could have the grossest bread ever. And yeah, so that's what I'm seeing is like you didn't get those chances to learn like what's the difference between baking powder or baking soda, or you know, there's so many things that are so similar, but what do they do? What's the purpose of it? And so I see that you have a little bit more caution, and they say throw into the caution. We want you to go out there and make the mistakes, live and learn. That's the whole purpose of living, is to learn. But you're not learning if you're not trying. We don't want you to just sit there. I'm seeing now a cactus, and it's like a bloomed cactus. Let's see. And it's like, we don't want you to be prickly and you just sit there and be like one of those really cranky. I've seen like an old lady in an old folks home who's just like cranky at everyone. Like, oh, I hate that person. That person thinks that her slippers are the best. Look at her new roller set, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, just, again, that goes into the depth because you didn't learn to go deeper into the depth. So now I'm being drawn to this big heart. And this big heart is saying, it's time to take a deep breath. Because I keep seeing, like, again, that cranky old lady. Well, that's not fair. She thinks that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like the breath, I just keep seeing being short. And it's like less and less breath. It's like taking the life. It's just life taking. And that's because there's like this cord. And this cord, so that's what I get is like this, maybe this cranky old lady is this one that you form this bond or attachment to. And they just seem to be such a buzzkill. But that sucks that this person has a lot of sway and influence over your life decisions because they don't really see the world through happy eyes. That's a little happy face. Yeah, it would be best if you took the key and went and discovered things on your own. I'm seeing now the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I'm hearing that not only does this person talk and talk and talk, but they sweet talk. That there's just some times where they're very, very charming. And so I think that's why it's so hard, because I see a brain be very confused. It's like, yeah, but a million positive, did I already say this pros and cons list or something like that? That it's like they sweet talk, this, so it almost cancels it out, so that this person, that's why they're so confused. And so I guess at the end of all this, what Spirit wants to say is that this wasn't quite your plan. So now we have the candy cane and then a little bunny here, which then took me to the moon of the last one. That these holidays, right? A lot of times we have like Christmas and Easter and all these things that we celebrate, and we think that those are the original holidays of it, but they're not. They were taken from something else, and then they were changed and then forced to fit their plan and their narrative. But they actually date back to something like more pagan or ritualistic or something. And that's what it said. We must let go of the life that we have planned. And unfortunately, it's because it wasn't your plan. You think you planned it, but someone else planned it for you, and you were easily persuaded or manipulated by that plan. And so it says, so now we want you to go into the depth. We want you to go deeper. We want you to seek clarity and make decisions with your mind and your heart in balance. And so there's Two of Swords. Two of Swords. Where did she even go? Chariot, High Priestess, Two of Swords. It's hard to make a decision when you're in conflict like that. Normally, like I said, she's been blindfolded and she got the two swords crossed. She doesn't know which way or decision to make. And it's like, it sucks when you start to think about it, when you start to gain a little bit of clarity that you didn't make any decisions either, that you were kind of persuaded into making all these decisions, that, you know, I knew what was best for you, but as this Temperance card said, things were rushed. They weren't allowed to unfold and let the pieces fit perfectly. They were forced and jammed and super glued and epoxied, and it's just not right, because when you step back from that painting, it's gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Because it's not a picture, because that piece belongs way over here, and this piece belongs over here and here and here. So when we go into the depth, when we let go of those attachments and those cords and start to make decisions for ourselves, it's easy to let go of what we had planned, because that was what society had planned for us, or what you were supposed to do, or the norm, or the something, and accept the one that's waiting for us. And the one that's waiting for us As I said, this one just fits and clicks. It fits perfectly into the palm. It's got so much color and rainbow, and it's actually like, I don't even think that the camera will ever be able to like pick up exactly. This one makes my heart so happy. As soon as I look at it, I'm like, oh, I remember I gave this to someone once and I was like, I just want to show you the coolest crystal that I own. Because there's a whole world in here. This reminds me of like the Men in Black locker. You know, when he like, there's that one world and they all exist within a locker and then they open it up and Will Smith's there and then there's another world and another world. There, which is like different layers here. Spirit, all I really want, I just want one more thing before we end this all. I want a happy, positive note as to what to do or what to look forward to for the one that's waiting for us. And the one that's waiting, it just happens. The Chariot and the High Priestess is already in alignment. It's already happening and flowing. The only way to stop that is to listen to that past person and let them clog the gears again. Other than that, I just see that it naturally unfolds. And it doesn't unfold, it's being pulled to you. The Chariot is a very confusing card, they say. It makes it feel like you are moving somewhere, but it's actually coming to you by you sitting there in stillness and going within the deep and admitting your true thoughts and feelings to yourself. The motion is, they're talking about the motion of the Chariot, and it's almost like, how do you explain it? It's a weird feeling. It's like you're sitting perfectly still, but everything and every particle or element just like, I don't know how to explain what they're trying to tell me. It's that sound. Shoot. So last one, we have Justice. So there she is with her scales and they're balanced. I hear now, okay, so as I said, as this was a positive one to work forward to, as the one that's waiting for us, when it happens, when everything's in alignment, when it's perfectly balanced, that's the mind and the heart. They say that's when you start to walk your walk, talk your talk. You could fight the fight, but you choose not to. You stand your ground, but your heart is open. Your mind is receptive, and it analyzes and calculates everything you see and hear. And that's why when you talk your talk, it's filtered through the heart. And so what you say now is clear, and people understand the passion behind it. Whereas before, it seemed undoubtful, or it seemed like there was a scheme or a scam or something. There was, if I do this for you, you will help me this way. This for that energy. But I'm seeing straight, strong back, shoulders back, heart up, speaking clear, they say. So as to accept the one that's waiting for us. And you know what? This is, and after all that talk, I got like almost like this military, like really strict kind of energy from it. And then justice, and then I heard that you deserve. So you must let go of the life that you had planned to accept the one that you deserve. And you deserve unconditional love, true love, this perfect piece puzzle, this piece of artwork. Because what I'm seeing now is just a mishmash of random pieces together that does not even make a picture. But by letting that one go, I'm seeing the proper pieces fall in the proper places and you getting an absolute masterpiece. So with that, we'll leave it there. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.